My name is Riley Carter. I'm 31, and I get paid to imagine everything that can go wrong for a health tech company in Seattle. My whole job is worst-case scenarios and how to block them. None of that training prepared me for a 12-second voicemail that detonated my family. It came in on a random Tuesday between a security audit and my third reheated cup of coffee. I hit play and heard my mother's voice, flat and clipped like she was canceling a streaming subscription, not talking to her eldest daughter. "We're done, Riley. Don't come back. We're moving on without you." No context, no anger, just a sentence that slammed every door at once. For a few heartbeats, I just stared at the screen, listening to my own pulse in my ears. Then the risk manager part of my brain quietly took the wheel. I didn't call, I didn't beg, I sent one text. Okay. Then I moved first. I logged into Carter Family Holdings LLC, the company I'd built for us from nothing, the one that owned our rentals and the small 4-unit building we were about to close on, and stripped every permission tied to my name. Nobody was signing new loans with my credit. Nobody was shifting money without my explicit approval. Next, I called our real estate agent and pulled out of the townhouse deal they were relying on me to qualify for. Then I logged into the retirement setup I'd arranged for my parents and froze any structural changes. No one was reorganizing or siphoning anything while I wasn't looking. By the time my coffee was cold, every easy shortcut my family had been using through me was gone. I honestly thought that would be it. Instead, by the next morning, my phone showed 46 missed calls and a voicemail from their attorney labeled urgent. I put in my earbuds while the coffee maker sputtered to life and hit play. "Ms. Carter, this is Greg Sanders, counsel for Stephen and Linda Carter. We need to speak immediately. There appears to be a serious issue." He had that clipped, wary tone lawyers get when they realize their clients have not told them everything. I let the message end and stared at the kitchen tile. Texts were popping up one after another. From Mom. "Riley, this is a misunderstanding. Call me, we have to talk." From Dad. "Hey kiddo, whatever this is, we can sort it out. Please call us." From Mom again. "We were upset. We didn't mean it like that, just come over and we'll explain." Funny, because the night before there had been zero ambiguity in her voice. "Yeah, we're done. Don't come back. We're moving on without you." That had sounded pretty unambiguous to me. I scrolled through the flood, half expecting to see my younger sister's name. Nothing. Not a single missed call or text from Olivia, who normally blew up our group chat over what to order for takeout. For someone who lived on attention, she was suddenly silent. While the coffee finished, I opened the security app for my building and pulled up the front door camera feed, not even sure why. A clip from 6:12 a.m. popped up. My dad stood outside the glass door, hands shoved in his jacket pockets, staring up toward my floor. He checked his phone, hovered like he might hit the buzzer, then turned and walked back to the parking lot. No call, no knock, just retreat. Something pinched hard in my chest, then I tamped it down. And if someone can cut you off in one casual voicemail, you don't sprint to comfort them when the knife swings back their way. On the bus to work, my phone buzzed nonstop in my bag. I let it. At my desk, I finally sent 3 short replies. To Mom, "I'm safe. I need space." To Dad, "I heard the voicemail. I'm not ready to talk." To Greg, the attorney, "I received your message. I will respond in writing." That was all I owed anyone that day. Around 11, my coworker Lena rolled her chair over to my desk and dropped her voice. "You're staring at your monitor like it owes you money. Home stuff?" The automatic, "I'm fine," was on my tongue, but I swallowed it. "My parents decided I'm out of the family business," I said. Her eyebrows shot up. "Do they understand you are the family business?" I gave a half shrug. "They left a voicemail. I locked things down. Now there are lawyers involved." Lena whistled under her breath. "Look, you know this, but once money's on the table, people start acting for an audience. If you do anything out of guilt, they'll spin it as you admitting you screwed up. Pretend every choice you make will be read out loud in a courtroom one day." That part, I understood better than most. I build systems for a living that keep people from quietly moving money behind each other's backs. Apparently, I'd just built the perfect one to keep my own family from doing it to me. On my way to refill my mug, my phone buzzed again. "Unknown number. Heard you dropped out of the townhouse because you're overwhelmed. You okay?" It was a cousin on my dad's side. Overwhelmed, not my word. That sounded exactly like something Olivia would sniffle to a room full of relatives. Pieces started clicking into place, her temporary marketing job ending, the way she'd started throwing around phrases like unlock equity and streamline the LLC at Sunday dinners, as if she'd ever opened a spreadsheet before. Her sudden radio silence now, like a puppeteer who'd already pulled her strings and stepped off stage to watch the show. I stared at my screen and felt the first, clean edge of anger slot into place. If Olivia thought she could shove me out of what I'd built and slide into my chair while my parents played along, she'd picked the wrong sister for a financial knife fight. 2 days later, I tried to pretend life was normal by doing something aggressively ordinary. I went to the neighborhood cafe I always hit on Saturdays. The barista knew my order. The regulars argued about rain, rent, and the Mariners. I'd just grabbed my latte when I heard someone call my name. Riley, hey. I turned and saw Tom Branson, one of my dad's old coworkers from the auto shop, grinning like it was any other weekend. He clapped a hand on my shoulder. Heard about the townhomes, he said, dropping his voice as if he were sharing a secret. That's rough. I frowned. What about them? He winced. Just what your mom and Lee wrote in the family chat, that you backed out because work pressure got to you, that things aren't great for you, mentally. He said mentally the way people do when they're afraid to say breakdown. My jaw tightened, overwhelmed. There it was again. Yeah, well, rumors grow legs, I said, or stretching a smile so tight it felt like it might crack. Tom patted my arm, told me to take care of myself, and wandered off to dump sugar into his coffee. I walked straight out into the damp Seattle air before what I was really feeling showed on my face. Out in my car, I scrolled my messages again. Still nothing from Olivia. But somehow she was comfortable telling our extended family I was too fragile to handle a deal I had practically architected. That wasn't idle gossip. That was laying foundation. I opened my contacts and tapped a name I hadn't used in nearly a year. Martin Blake, the financial advisor who had helped me structure Carter Family Holdings LLC before my parents, egged on by Olivia, dumped him for someone shinier. He answered on the second ring. Riley, long time. Still keeping people out of trouble? Trying, I said. I have a question. Has anyone tried to adjust ownership percentages in Carter Family Holdings lately? I could hear him sit up straighter. I've seen some drafts float across my desk, he said slowly. Your mom asked some hypotheticals after they brought in a new advisor, but those forms referenced adding another family member as a managing member. Your signature line was blank. I flagged it and told her nothing could be executed without you. Another family member? I didn't need a name. Did any changes go through? I asked. No, it was sloppy and incomplete. But if someone's probing for a way around you, you should be in front of it. We hung up, and I sat there staring at my steering wheel. I thought about the voicemail cutting me loose. Tom's careful use of mentally, the timing of Olivia's job loss, my mom suddenly chasing a new advisor. This wasn't some messy misunderstanding. It was a plan with bad legal bones and a lot of emotional theater layered on top. My screen lit up. Olivia, finally. What do you think you're doing, Riley? Pulling out of the townhouse, locking down accounts, freaking everyone out. You're making this so much worse. My thumbs hovered. I almost dumped everything boiling in my head into that little gray box. Instead, I deleted the draft and opened my email. First, to the real estate agent, Erica, as discussed by phone, please accept this as written confirmation that I have withdrawn as borrower and primary qualifier from the Carter townhouse purchase. Any suggestion that I am still a party to this transaction is inaccurate and unauthorized. Please send formal cancellation of my participation and copy my parents' attorney. Then, to Olivia, written the way I'd write a risk escalation at work. Olivia, this email serves as formal notice that any attempt to alter ownership, signature authority, or financial structure related to Carter Family Holdings LLC, its properties, or associated retirement accounts without my written consent is unauthorized and may be fraudulent. Do not sign my name. Do not suggest I have approved anything. Any such action will be documented and referred to legal counsel. Riley. No insults, no yelling, just facts and outcomes. I hit send and laid my phone face down on the passenger seat. By the time I got home, I had 6 more missed calls from Mom, 3 from Dad, and still nothing from Olivia. So I opened my laptop and created a new folder on my desktop. Family evidence. Into it went screenshots of texts, voicemails from Greg and Martin's notes, copies of my emails to Erica and Olivia, and the draft forms Martin had forwarded. Every lie, every smear, every attempt to cast me as unstable or power-hungry. If Olivia was building a narrative where I was the unhinged villain who needed to be cut out so she could save everyone, I was going to build a better one with dates and receipts. And I couldn't help wondering how many families quietly disintegrate for the same reason. One person wants the role of victim more than they want the truth. 3 days later, an unknown number popped up while I was buried in a firewall rule set. I almost let it roll to voicemail until I saw the firm name beneath it. "This is Riley." "Hi." "Riley, this is Anita Shaw, your parents' new financial advisor," she said. "I'm reviewing the Carter retirement structure, and I'm seeing a few discrepancies." That word made me sit up. She explained she'd been looking over the LLC and retirement accounts and had seen draft forms adding Olivia as co-trustee and a managing member. The documents referenced my approval but lacked any actual signature from me. "To be clear, Anita, I haven't approved a single change," I said. "I haven't signed anything since the day Martin and I set this up." She exhaled. "I suspected. Your family told me you'd stepped back, that these were the adjustments you wanted. The phrase too overwhelmed was mentioned. From a compliance perspective, what I needed to hear directly from you. Treat every request as invalid unless you see my live signature," I told her. "If someone claims otherwise, ask for written proof. You won't get any." Right after we hung up, my cousin Tara called. "Are you okay?" she blurted before I could say hello. "Because the way Liv's talking, it sounds like you're falling apart." My stomach clenched. What exactly has she been saying? That you bailed on the townhouse because your anxiety was out of control, that you hoard control of the LLC, that you threatened to leave your parents with nothing if they didn't listen to you, Tara said. And now she's posting about financial abuse in families on Instagram. "That's all false," I said flatly. "I didn't think it sounded like you," Tara said more quietly. "You're the one who covered their mortgage when the roof went bad, not the other way around. I just thought you should know what's being said. Want screenshots?" "If you're willing," I said, "but don't argue with her on my behalf. It'll just feed the show." A minute after we hung up, a new email chain appeared. Subject: Carter Townhouse Purchase. Update. It was from Erica, with my parents, Olivia, and Greg CC'd. In the quoted text below was a message from Olivia. "Erica, as we discussed, Riley has stepped back from the purchase due to personal mental health challenges. We'd like to proceed without her. Please respect her limits. Thank you, Olivia." She sounded so gentle and caring, it made my skin crawl. Erica's actual reply sat above it. "Thank you, Olivia, for liability reasons. I'll need written confirmation directly from Riley and we'll pause the file until I receive it." I typed before the anger could dull. "Hi, Erica. Attached is my written withdrawal from 2 days ago and the pre-approval documentation. I am not exiting for mental health reasons. I am withdrawing because I no longer consent to my name, credit, or income being used under the current family circumstances. Any other characterization of my decision is inaccurate. Thank you for pausing the file." Riley I CC'd Greg and Anita and attached all the documents showing I had driven the deal from the start and had already formally stepped away. Erica replied almost immediately, this time only to us 3. "Understood. I will disregard Olivia's message and only act on instructions from you." A quieter email followed from Greg. Received. We should discuss next steps. That night, there was an envelope taped to my apartment door. My mom's handwriting on the front. Inside, on yellow notebook paper, "We love you. We were upset. We said things we didn't mean. Please call so we can fix this before it goes too far. Love, Mom." For a moment, my chest hurt. I could picture her at the kitchen table, Olivia circling and crying, helping her find the right words, and arranging the props. My phone buzzed again. Tara had forwarded Olivia's latest post. "Sometimes the most dangerous person in a family is the one who holds all the money and punishes you for not obeying. Healing means walking away from people who weaponize their power, even when they share your last name. Comments full of hearts and 'you're so brave' and 'tell your story.' A girl." I set my mom's note next to my laptop and opened my family evidence folder. Emails, voicemails, advisor notes, screenshots, all in neat rows. Up to that point, I'd just been closing doors. Watching those files stack up, I realized defense alone wasn't enough. If Olivia wanted a public story with me cast as villain, I was going to answer with something she couldn't perform around. A simple, documented version of what had actually happened. The next morning, my phone vibrated with a text from Mom while I sipped office coffee. Just 5 minutes? No arguing. Please? 5 minutes wasn't going to undo a message telling me I was finished and shouldn't come back. But that text sounded more like her than anything else she'd sent in weeks. Call me, I typed. She answered before the first ring finished. Yes, we were wrong, she said. Saying, we're 100% right, I said. You asked for 5 minutes, she said. Go ahead. Mom exhaled. We were wrong, she said. Saying, we're done, and don't come back. That was too far. We shouldn't have said it that way. You didn't phrase it badly, I said. You were very clear. She was quiet a beat, then tried again. Your sister told us things. She said you were planning to cut us out of the LLC, that you'd talked to lawyers about removing us from the retirement accounts, that you were tired of carrying us and wanted total control. She said you told her in the car after dinner. None of that ever happened, I said. Did you hear any of those words from me? Well, no, Mom admitted. Olivia said you two talked in the car. I drove myself that night, I said. I left alone. There was no car ride. Dad swore under his breath. Mom's voice dropped. Why would she say that? Maybe because she wants what I have, I said. If I'm unstable and power mad, then her trying to get herself added to the documents looks like protecting you instead of using you. Dad sighed. This isn't just family drama anymore. Greg's calling. Anita's calling you. Erica froze the purchase. I know, I said. That's why I'm done with half conversations and cryptic posts. We're all going to sit down, all 4 of us. Same room, no speakerphones, no vague she said summaries. I'll bring paperwork. You bring everything Olivia told you, then we see which story still stands. Do we have to drag lawyers into this? Mom asked. They're in it already, I said. The only question is whether they see Olivia's script first, or the receipts. When? Dad asked. Tomorrow at 6, your house, I said. If Olivia refuses to show up, that's an answer too. The next evening, I walked into my parents' living room with a thick folder tucked under my arm. Same beige couch, same framed school pictures up the stairs. Completely different atmosphere. My parents sat together on the sofa. Olivia perched in the armchair like a guest on a talk show, tissue in hand, eyes carefully shiny. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Thanks for coming, Dad said. I set the folder and my phone on the coffee table. Just so we're clear, I said. Nothing said here is going to vanish into a memory hole. If anyone lies, I'm not keeping it private. Olivia snorted. Great. Way to make it hostile. We're family, Riley. Then the truth shouldn't bother anyone, I said. Mom twisted her fingers together. Olivia, honey, tell Riley what you told us. No, I said. She can speak directly to me. Go ahead, Liv. Olivia rolled her eyes. I just repeated what you said, she snapped. You told me you were tired of doing everything, that you were thinking about pulling your name off things, that you wanted full control of the LLC so you didn't have to run stuff by them anymore. And this was in the car after dinner? I asked. She nodded. Yeah, you were worked up. You probably don't even remember. I opened the folder, pulled out a printed page, and slid it across the table. That night at Lakeside Bistro, right? I said. Check the times. Mom's eyes scanned the page. Olivia's rideshare receipt from the restaurant to my parents' house at 9:47. My debit charge at a gas station across town at 9:42. And 2 different routes, 2 different cars. I drove myself home, I said. You left in a rideshare. There was no private car conversation. Maybe I'm mixing up nights, Olivia said quickly. Before you say that, I replied, flipping to another page. Here's the only other time in the last 3 months all 4 of us ate dinner together. That night you left early to go meet friends. I stayed and paid the bill. Again, no car ride together. Dad leaned back slowly, eyes on his younger daughter. "Liv?" he said quietly. She shrugged, lips tightening. "Memories get fuzzy. I was trying to help. I thought she meant it." I laid down more pages, my withdrawal email to Erica sent days before Olivia's mental health story. Erica's reply saying she would ignore any instructions that didn't come from me. Anita's note about draft documents naming Olivia as co-trustee and managing member without my signature. Screenshots of Olivia's posts and Tara's messages about what she'd been telling family. One page after another, the line from that first voicemail to this living room couch appeared in black and white. Mom finally looked away from the papers and at Olivia. "You told us you saw emails," she whispered. "You said Riley wrote she was done with us." Olivia sat forward. "So, now you're just buying her version because she prints things," she demanded. "She's always been controlling. She's spinning everything to make me look unstable." Dad kept his gaze on her. "Truth doesn't crumble when you set it next to documentation," he said quietly. "Yours just did." For the first time since the night of the voicemail, Mom looked straight at me and something in her expression shifted. "We always assumed you could handle more," she said slowly. "We saw Olivia as delicate, so we protected her and leaned on you. Now I'm realizing the only person who's lied to us start to finish is the one we told not to come back." Olivia opened her mouth, but Mom lifted a hand. "Not this time, Liv." The word no sat in the room like a fifth person. Olivia checked each of our faces, recalibrating. "So what now?" she snapped. "Riley brings her little folder and suddenly she's judge and jury. Are you happy you made Mom cry?" I ignored the bait. "This isn't about tears," I said. "It's about cause and effect. You told me I was finished. You tried to ram changes through behind my back. You painted me as unstable so you could grab control of what I built. There has to be a response other than another dramatic post and everyone pretending it never happened." Dad rubbed his jaw, the way he did when he was lining up a tough repair. "What do you think that response should be?" he asked. Olivia whipped her head toward him. "You're seriously asking her?" "You wanted me out of the family business," I said. "Fine. I'll stop being the guaranteed safety net. But that also means no one ever again attaches my name, my credit, or my work to something without my say-so, starting with making sure Olivia has zero path into anything I've set up." Mom hesitated. "She doesn't have access now," she started. "Not legally, maybe," I said. "But she's been in advisor meetings. She's been on group threads planning the townhouse. She's been talking like decisions were a done deal in her favor. That ends today." Dad sighed and turned to Olivia. "No more talking to advisors for us," he said. "No more speaking on our behalf. No more implying Riley is on board when she isn't. Period." Her eyes went shiny again. "So, you're just cutting me out?" she said, voice going high. "After everything I've done for you?" "What exactly is that?" I asked before I could stop myself. "The podcast episode about being raised by narcissists in the suburbs? Or the half-finished business ideas you expected me to bankroll?" Mom flinched, but she didn't tell me to stop. "Steve," she said quietly to my dad, "maybe we should put this in writing. No extra beneficiaries, no shared accounts, no more promises we can't keep." She turned to me. "We've been saying for years we'd help Olivia launch something, pay off this card. Co-sign that loan," she said. "All it's done is convince her she's entitled to money that doesn't exist until you create it. We want you to redo the paperwork. All of it. The LLC, the retirement accounts, everything. Based on what actually makes sense, not whatever we blurt out mid-argument." I stared at her. "You just told me I was out," I said slowly. "Now you're asking me to take control again." "I'm asking you to keep doing what you've really been doing the whole time," she said, eyes glossy. "Only this time with us admitting you understand this better than we do." Olivia laughed, a sharp, disbelieving sound. "Unreal. You're handing her the crown and exiling me. You're punishing me because I told the truth about how she treats us." Dad shook his head. "If it were the truth, it wouldn't fall apart next to a gas station receipt," he said. "That's the difference." For the first time since I'd walked in, Olivia genuinely looked rattled. Her gaze flicked to me, searching for the older sister who would smooth this over. I didn't move. Dad inhaled deeply. "Here's what's going to happen," he said, in the tone he used to use with stubborn customers. "Riley, you, Greg, and Anita will do whatever's necessary to make Carter Family Holdings and our retirement accounts airtight. You and I will be the only managing members. Your mom will be a beneficiary. Olivia will hold no position of control anywhere. If we help her in future, it'll be out of what we actually have, not by cracking open what you built." Olivia leaned forward. "You can't just erase me from everything," she said. "I'm your daughter too." Mom winced. "We're not erasing you," she said softly. "We're stopping the fantasy that putting your name on something Riley created magically generates money. If we ever help you again, it'll be because you've brought us a real plan and we can truly afford it, not because we're scared you'll fall apart if we say no." Olivia pivoted so fast it made my head spin. "Fine," she said, tears welling. "Then let me prove it, Riley. Give me a tiny role in the LLC. Social media, branding, whatever. Let me show I can contribute instead of just taking." A year earlier, I might have grabbed for that olive branch. Now all I saw was another angle. I stood, picked up my folder. "No," I said. "If you want to prove you can build something, you don't do it by wiring yourself into what someone else already made. You start from zero like I did." Mom looked between us. "Riley, isn't that a little extreme?" she asked. "Extreme was being told I was finished and not to come back," I said. Extreme was watching my stability get used as background for her sympathy posts. What I'm doing now is boundaries. That's not the same thing. Olivia's face hardened. "You're going to regret this," she hissed. "You think you can cut me off and just walk away clean?" I slid my phone into my bag. "No," I said. "I think I can stop you from using my work as your safety net. What you do without that is up to you." Dad walked me to the door. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, "for the voicemail, for taking her word over yours, for letting it get this far. I believed the version that was easiest to swallow." "I know," I said. "But choosing the easy story doesn't mean you get easy fallout." Over the next week, the verbal promises turned into signatures. Anita sent revised drafts listing only my dad and me as managing members of Carter Family Holdings. My mom as beneficiary, no spot for anyone else. Greg scheduled a meeting where my parents signed papers limiting who could touch their accounts in any capacity. I updated the LLC agreement myself. No new managing member can be added without unanimous written consent from existing ones. There wasn't even a blank space where Olivia's name could be scribbled in later. When the last document was scanned and filed, something in me settled. Not revenge as a dramatic scene, but revenge as architecture. A framework where the person who tried to shove me out no longer had any door into what I'd built. A few days later, Olivia showed up at my office without warning, mascara smudged, clutching a white binder like a life raft. The receptionist pinged me on chat. "There's a woman here saying she's your sister." Binder, lots of tears. I met her in the lobby, arms folded. "I have a business plan," she said immediately, shoving the binder toward me. "Events, brand collabs, influencers. If you just put in a little seed money, I can pay you back and prove everyone wrong." I didn't take the binder. "Start it without me," I said. "If it works, you won't need my money. If it doesn't, you'll understand why I said no." Her expression crumpled, anger and panic fighting for space. "You're really not going to help me?" she whispered. "After everything?" I thought about Martin's warning, Anita's careful questions, Tara's screenshots, my mom's note, my dad's apology, that first voicemail. "I'm done handing people gasoline and then acting surprised when they light the match," I said. I turned and buzzed myself back through the secure door, leaving her and her binder on the other side. A month later, I stood in the driveway of a pale brick 4-unit on the outskirts of Seattle, a box of dishes in my arms, while my parents argued cheerfully about where to hang a wind chime. The ground floor unit was theirs now, locked in writing with a clause that said they could live there as long as they breathed, rent-free and untouchable. My place was the second-floor unit with big windows that caught the rare sun. The top apartment was already listed for rent. The numbers worked on a spreadsheet only I controlled. Carter Family Holdings, the thing Olivia tried to edge into. He was lean and simple, just Dad and me as managing members, Mom as beneficiary, no back doors, no wiggle room for misunderstandings. On weekend evenings, I'd come downstairs and cook in my mom's new kitchen while Dad watched car rebuild videos in the living room. We didn't replay every ugly detail, but we stopped pretending money was some mysterious fog no one understood. I'd open my laptop and walk them through balances, timelines, what was possible and what wasn't. It wasn't perfect. There were still heavy moments when Olivia's name came up, still guilt in their eyes. But now, when she texted Mom asking for help with another credit card, Mom would show me her phone, then set it face down on the counter and say, "We can't keep bailing her out. Not like this." From cousins, I heard Olivia had moved into a small walk-up across town. Bouncing between gigs, her big event collective never really launched. People were starting to notice how every one of her stories needed a villain and a spotlight. For the first time in my life, I wasn't occupying either role. I didn't sue her. I didn't drag her name through the mud online. I did something quieter and, to me, sharper. I took away the leverage she thought she had and left her with a life that rested entirely on her own choices. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear that trust without guardrails is just an invitation for the wrong person to move in and rearrange everything. Clear that being the capable one doesn't mean letting people turn your competence into their weapon. If there's a lesson anywhere in this, it's that you can care about your family and still refuse to be their endless insurance policy when they gamble with the truth. You can release resentment without handing the passwords back. And if anyone ever tells you you're finished and shouldn't come back, you're allowed to believe them. And then ask yourself an even harder question. From this moment on, what do I stop giving them access to? Maybe you have your own version of this story, a time when someone treated your loyalty like a credit line with no limit. If you do, I hope you learn faster than I did that drawing a hard line isn't cruelty, it's self-respect. And sometimes that's worth more than any house, account, or LLC with your name on it.